So with that, we're going to get started. So good morning and welcome to our Bexar County Small Business Entrepreneurship Department's webinar series. We're doing this May 4th through the 8th, 2020. Today is the final day of our first week of webinar series, and we're featuring our Bexar County Purchasing Department, our new leadership that we welcome. She's not new to us because she served an incredible journey and lots of experience with Bexar County Purchasing. But in this new position, we're honored that she has taken time to join us this morning to give you a few guidance on what her department is now doing here at the county and the incredible leadership that she is providing. Followed by her, we will have a hands-on workshop with our team members, James Massey, our data compliance coordinator, and Aaron Andrade, who is the lead purchasing assistant for Bexar County. With that, I always like to acknowledge our staff. So we'll have the slide up so you'll know who in Bexar County's Small Business and Entrepreneurship Department is working every day to assist small businesses and bring you this types of valuable information. If you know of a different topic or some information you'd like to see, going forward, we will be doing more of these webinar series. James Massey, Brenda Rodriguez, Amparo Arriago, Stephen Prado, and Sonia Delgado makes up our team. We work hard every day, and because of COVID, we're doing more telecommuting, but we will be doing the traditional outreach as the community continues to reopen their business. Bexar County is providing supplies on behalf of Commissioners Court to those small businesses under 25 in the unincorporated and suburban cities to help keep our workplaces safe. If you need some, or if you know anyone, please call the office because we're having people sign up starting next week. With that, I'll turn this over to Ms. Patricia Torres, who is our leader here in Bexar County, doing the purchasing, and she's going to be helping us to get that. So with that, Patricia.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Patricia Torres, and like Ms. Renee introduced me, I'm the purchasing agent for Bexar County Purchasing Department, and I'm so excited with this new journey, and our team is a great team. We have various employees have been there for numerous years, and a great workforce, very professional and willing to assist the department and the county as well, our community. We are working remotely and we continue to serve, and we are excited to be a part of this webinar, and we thank you, Renee, for including us.
So now we'll start the workshop. James Massey and Aaron. Thank you. Thank you, Ms. Torres.
Okay. Again, James Massey, Bexar County SWMB, or SBED, Small Business Entrepreneurship Department. We wear many hats. We have many names and we have many programs. What our focus is and does not change is outreach. That's what's bringing this webinar here to you. We actually host in partnership with our purchasing department a monthly training. What you're going to witness here is going to be a sample of that training where we have an actual walkthrough on how it is you'll go about registering as a supplier with Bexar County. And then I'm going to show you internally another outreach piece that we have here in my office. Again, Bexar County Small Business Entrepreneurship Department, when it comes to finding specifically SWMBs for any outreach events that we may have. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and hand over to Aaron Andrade, who's going to actually walk you through the supplier portal, what it means to be a Bexar County supplier, the significance, and what is most advantageous for you guys, how to actually do that. So Aaron, my co-host extraordinaire, sir, if you would please unmute your mic and share your screen, and you're going to run the show here.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Aaron Andrade here, Bexar County Purchasing Department, the project lead assistant. I posted my information up earlier. I'll post it again once we're done here. So we're going to cover, like you said, the Bexar County Supplier Portal, how to register. If you're unsure you've already registered, you should send me an email, and then I'll look up your information and verify it. Because the Supplier Portal's been available for about 10 years now. So sometimes some people forget, they have someone else registered for them. So just, if you're unsure, feel free to send me an email, and then after this, I'll go ahead and look into it and see if you already have an account set up. All right. So let's get started. Okay, so what we have right here is just open up an internet web browser. Doesn't matter which one. we have a link to the site. It's actually kind of lengthy. The quickest way I tell everyone to look up the site is just to type in bear space purchasing in the search, click enter. Usually the first item that pops up, purchasing and procurement. So we're gonna go ahead and click on that. And then right here, here's our purchasing procurement website. We're gonna scroll down a little bit and we wanna go to purchasing portal and vendor registration. And then it's gonna supplier portal vendor registration. We're gonna click on that link one more time right here. And here we are. So of course, if you've already registered before, you can click login. If you've forgotten your username, you can click here. It'll ask for your email address and they'll get emailed to you. What we're gonna do right now is we're just gonna go ahead and start registration. What I recommend people do also is open up a second window and then open it up to this site, to the supplier portal. I'll get to that in a minute. When we go to commodity codes, it's gonna come in handy. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. Let's go ahead and click on register. Here's terms and conditions for registering in the Bexar County Supplier Portal. Once you've read them all, click accept. Oh, one moment here. Okay, here. Then go ahead and click continue. And then here we are, just basic information for you. Username, which is you're gonna use to log in. I recommend using the company name. Some people put their personal name. Occasionally people retire, leave, and then you end up having that same username there. So I'm just gonna go with Bakery R Us. Hopefully that's not copyrighted. All right, password. You know, this can be anything, case sensitive. So, you know, just put in whatever password you feel you want to put there. Title, this is your title. So I'm gonna go with Mr. First name, Aaron. Last name, Andrade. Phone number, I'm gonna go ahead and put, let's see, this is my work phone number. So if you guys wanna write that down, all right. So then email address, I'm gonna go ahead and put my work email address. There we go. And also, just double look over everything one more time, because sometimes after people have registered, we see that there's some information missing, and then like the email address they have on file is incorrect, or they use the autofill, and then the autofill sometimes is not used to this way of putting phone numbers, and it'll just spread out numbers all over the place. So just double check. Once you see everything's good, go ahead and click continue. Here we go. Company name. So I'm gonna go with Bakers R Us. And then anything with that little asterisk right there is information that we need in order for you to move forward with the registration. So next is tax ID type. I'm gonna go with federal tax ID, and here's my tax ID number. All right, then we're gonna go to country. Here we go, where's the country? United States, there we go. Then we're gonna go with address. Okay, city, go San Antonio. State, province, go good old Texas. Where's Texas at here? And here we go. Zip code. All right, everything looks good. If you have a different address that you want the payments mailed to, you can put that information here. If it's the same information as your mailing address, you can just click check here, and it'll automatically put this information, your mailing address over here, and your remit address. Go ahead and click continue. All right, and here we're at diversity codes. This information, we like to put as much information as you can. When you click on add, it's going to bring up a list. I recommend clicking on updating the size so you can see all the options. And here we have ethnicity, handicap, nonprofit, sex, and size of company. So we would like for you to put one piece of information from each section. So an ethnicity, handicap. If you're a nonprofit, then all you have to do is select nonprofit. So I'm going to go with select Hispanic, handicap, male, And size of the company, small. All right, once you've selected your diversity codes, go ahead and click Attach to Supplier. All right, everything looks good. Go ahead and go to Continue. Right here, questions about your company. Does your company maintain a physical presence in Bexar County? If it does, select yes. If not, no. If you have a W-9 form, which is going to ask for it down here, it usually has your address and it'll say, you know, what your address is, San Antonio, Texas. So you don't really have to attach anything here to show that you have physical presence in Bexar County. If your tax ID shows San Antonio, Texas. Next is, do you have any diversity certifications? If you do, select yes, and then you can attach them here. Just click Browse, select from your folder, and attach. Right here, number 3 is your W-9 form. This one we need for tax purposes. If you fill out your copy of your W-9. If you don't have the W-9 form, you can email me and I can send you a blank form and you can fill it out. It's basically asking for your name of company, address, your tax ID number, and a signature. So I'm just gonna go and put yes, and then you would attach your W-9 form. Then once you have all that information entered, you will click Continue. And this is a very important part right here, the select commodity codes. Commodity codes let us know various things. One, it lets us know what items you sell, what service you provide. And another thing too is that these commodity codes are used for events that we create, bidding events. And then so if your commodity code you have entered here matches an event that we've created, you'll get an email notification. So this is how you'll get notifications on events. So I always say, like, the more you can put, the better. So commodity codes, there's thousands of them. So the best way is just to click Add, Search, and then so I put bakery. So I'm gonna try bakery, see what comes up. Bakery equipment, ovens, bakery, wrapping foods, bakery products, fresh, and bakery equipment, maintenance and repair. So an important thing to know when looking at commodity codes is that there's 3 digits and 5 digits. A 3-digit commodity code is what I like to call a parent commodity code because it encompasses all other commodity codes that are part of it. So like this one's 090, but if you select 090, it would include 56, 70, 96, and any others subcategories of it. So in order for you to get a better chance at bidding opportunities, I recommend, if possible, selecting the parent commodity code. So in case we use 0970 and you have this registered in your account, you'll get the notification. Because otherwise, if you just have this one, then you'll only get notifications if we use this exact commodity code. So here's foods, bakery products, fresh, 375. I'm gonna go ahead and select that one. And then click Attach to Contact, and there we go. Okay, now at the beginning, I told you to create another window to the supplier portal. This is why it's for the commodity codes. So I'm gonna click on, this is my extra window that I opened up. So here's a cool little feature or trick that you can do to kind of figure out what commodity codes we do use for events upcoming, so that way you can know to add them to your profile. So right here, we're at the starting page for the supplier portal. I'm gonna go to Search Events. And then right here are past events that we've had dating back for almost a decade. So if we've had an event for it, it's stored here, and then you can just do a search. So I'm just gonna do a search for, let's see, utensils. Oh, that's not how you spell utensils. Give me one moment, please. There we go. And then look, 2 items pop up, commercial equipment, restaurant supplies. So I'm looking at our past history and I wanna see what commodity code they use so I can make sure I have it in case they end up using the same event or something similar to it again. So I'm gonna go and click on commercial equipment. And then I'm gonna go to lines. And then right here, commodity code. So these are all the commodity codes they use for commercial equipment. So if I was interested in seeing those bid opportunities, I would get these ones and then I would add them to my own account. So that way, if the event goes out again, I know I'll get a better chance of getting an event notification for it. So that's a nice little trick when you're looking to add commodity codes, because I know that's a big question a lot of people have. What commodity codes do I use? Things like that. So this is just a nice little helpful hint to go look through our old records and see what we've used before and just make sure you have them. Okay, let me go back to our registration. So I have the commodity code I want. It looks good. Like I said, the more you can add, the better. So just, take your time. You can use different words to search. So I'm gonna go ahead and click continue. And then right here's proxy notification. This is so when you first registered at the beginning, you put your email address. So you're gonna get notifications. Right here is in case you want someone else that you work with to get the notifications as well. Just that way you have more eyes keeping up with in case there's a bidding or event opportunities. So you can add as many proxy notifications as you want. Just click add. And then all we need for that is just their first name, last name, and email address. So I'm just gonna go ahead and add a second one. Okay, receive email notifications, click continue. And there you go. Now you have another person that's going to receive the email notifications as well as yourself. Okay, everything looks good here. I'm going to go ahead and click continue. And there you go. Congratulations, your account has been set up. You will now receive email notifications of events related to commodity codes for which you're registered. You can respond to those events through this account. So once you've done this, what we do on our side, myself and Carmen Leos, is we'll review your registration. And in case, sometimes some people might attach a wrong W-9 form or they're missing some information, we'll contact you and we'll just ask for some clarification, but that's basically how you register for an account with the Bexar County Supplier Portal. Not too bad. Like I said, the main thing that you want to make sure you have is commodity codes, and you want to make sure you have your W-9 form. Those are the two main things we need when you register an account. So we're going to go into a little more helpful information right now. We're actually going to show you open events that are currently open, and I'm going to explain a little bit of what to look for and just some helpful information in case you are interested in bidding on an event we have.
Before you navigate away from this screen, we had a question come in real time about could you look for, or could you do something similar looking up commodity codes for masks or for PPE? I know that's a flashpoint right now. Are you able?
Oh, yes.
Can you just show what that commodity code looks like in the commodity code search, masks, PPE, or something COVID related?
Okay, yeah, not a problem. So and like I said, with commodity codes, sometimes they're not as specific. So for like PPE products, I know a lot of times we've been using medical, general medical services, general medical products. There is actually one for hand sanitizer. So you know what, let me go ahead and go to update account information. So this is going to update the account I created. I'm going to scroll down to where I entered my commodity code. I'm going to click edit, and then I'm going to add a commodity code. And then, like I said, you were asking about PPE products. So I know hand sanitizer here. So let me type in hand sanitizer. Maybe it's just sanitizer. Hold on one second. Sorry about that. Oh, here we go. Sanitizer liquid. So, I have hand sanitizer liquid that's up for sale. So I'm going to go ahead and select that. I'm going to attach to contract or to contact. There we go. We have hand sanitizer liquid. I'm going to go ahead and do another search. And like I said, you can do broader. So we can just go medical. And then there's, like I said, there's a lot of options here. So let me see, where's a good one? Let's see, here's some for professional medical services, some medical equipment. Let's see.
Hey, Aaron, while you're searching for a couple more examples, I'm just going to speak over the top of you real quick. The same way that you guys see Aaron looking for commodity codes, I just want to tell my group from an outreach perspective, and as I say this, the pressure's on me. I've seen several members of Bexar County Purchasing log in and watch this webinar. When an end user, somebody who's responsible for making a purchase, be it a contract specialist, be it somebody who's actually going to be in a department trying to find these things, they're doing this same thing. They're going through, they're not going to know the code. They're going to use a keyword search to find a commodity code to populate. So my recommendation, just from an outreach perspective, and I'm only saying this because Aaron has this screen up here. Aaron is highly trained. This is his bread and butter. This is what he does. And even he is going through and searching to see what the best code to match is. You guys, as somebody who's trying to sell to the county and to other agencies, you should do the same. Use any keyword you think could match for something that you sell, and then really dig in to see whether or not that matches something that we might buy. Aaron, I hope I didn't steal your thunder. I just want to add that from an outreach perspective.
No. That's definitely good information to add. And then another one we use when we're looking up PPE products is this one right here, 998-67, medical and dental equipment and supplies. So like I said, you general is good. It doesn't hurt to go general, but if you can get specific, like we did with the hand sanitizer or sanitizing liquid, and select that. Yeah, like I said, there's many options. The two I've shown you are pretty good ones that we look at, 998-67 and then the one for hand sanitizer. If you have any more specific like items you're looking at, feel free to contact me, because like I said, everyone has their own niche and different items that they offer: mask, hand sanitizer, other items. You can contact me via email, and then I'll respond back, and maybe I can help you search for a good a commodity code to use. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and add this one. Select it, click attach to contact, and there you go. I've updated my profile with some more commodity codes, so that way it betters the chances of people being aware of the items that I provide. All right, I'm going to go ahead and go back. All right, I'm gonna go and click on home. All right, here we are here, back at the beginning of the supplier portal. What I was talking about is once you've registered, if you're interested in purchasing, in bidding on an item or seeing what we have available for bid currently, you can click on Browse Open Events. And then right here are all the current active events that we have available for bidding. So I'm just going to go with the last one we have here set up. It's Bexar County Storage Services for seized property. Say you're looking at it, you see like, oh, this is something that I'm interested in bidding on or getting more information on. So I'm going to head and click on it. And then right here is the summary, questions, terms, conditions, lines, and Q&A forum. So when you open it, event summary, the important things to look at are the close date, and the Q&A open and Q&A close date. So of course, the close date here is the date that the event closes. We have a strict policy that no submissions will be accepted after the deadline. So once 10 a.m. hits on May 29th, that's it. If you do a FedEx delivery and it comes in at 10:05, it missed the deadline and it won't be accepted. So always keep an eye out for what the close deadline is. Another good one to look at is Q&A open and close forum. So it opens on May 4th, close May 18th at 10 a.m. This is important because if even though we have our contract specialist that's working on its information right here, if you contact them asking specific information about the event, they can't answer you back via email or phone call because we want to make sure that everyone has the same information, the same knowledge on the event. So what we do is we ask that you use the Q&A to ask your question. So you would simply click on ask a question, type in the question you have for it, and then the person working on it will respond to your question. And then right here in this tab, the Q&A forum, everyone will be able to see the question and answer here. That way it's fair. Not one person has more information than the other person. And then they may have a question that you have. So that way you can just, see it right here. So let's go in summary. These dates are really important to look at. Right here's a brief description. Here's some general information. Right here's attachments. Attachments are good because sometimes they can't fit all the information they need in either the description or on the line. So they'll put attachments with more information, scopes of services, what they're looking for. If they need more documents, they'll let you know here. So it's always important to read through all the information, open up the files, and make sure you read everything. And then if they're asking for specific documents, you get them ready for it. So then the next tab is questions. These are general questions that pertain to your business. They differ depending on what the event is. So these ones you just look through, and if they ask for a document, fill out the document, submit it. So these event questions just pertain towards questions about your company. Terms and conditions are terms and conditions we use in the contract, just language. Feel free to look through here. Lines is what you're actually bidding on. So this one right here is for storage fees for warehousing and storage services. So in the event when you actually do respond, you click respond and you decide you're going to bid on it, this is what pops up. And then this is on this line is where you would put the dollar amount that you're bidding on the event, how much you're going to charge for the service, how much the item is, depending, it depends on what the event is. So depending on how many lines they have, right here, this only has one, but you would put a pricing for each line. And like I said, again, it depends if it's an item, a service. And then the last tab is a Q&A forum. So when you respond to an event, these tabs here are what appear in your response, and then you have to fill out. So you would have to fill out the line, how much you're bidding on it. You would have to respond to the questions about your company. So this is just general information on an event, and if you decide to bid on it, what to look for. Let me go back. All right. So I'm going to post my email information again, my contact information. So if you have any further questions, anything more specific, feel free to contact me, and then I'll respond, with the information you have. James, that concludes my section of the supplier portal. Do you have anything else?
Yeah, I had one more question come in, Aaron. I know you touched on this, but now that you're out in a completely different separate page, can you show how an active profile, somebody already registered with the supplier portal, would go in and edit their profile to add a commodity code?
Oh, not a problem. So I'm gonna go back to home, and then so this is this is where I registered. So it says welcome, Aaron Andrade. I signed in. If you look on the left hand side under my account, it says update account information. You would click on update account information, and here you can update all the information that you originally registered in your account. In case someone else takes it over, you can change the name, the password, the email address, and then if you scroll all the way down, you can update other information, diversity codes, commodity codes, your proxies. So you said commodity codes, so we will go down to my commodity codes, click on edit, and then here we are back to where the commodity codes you already have selected. And if you want to add more, go ahead and click on add. And then just search for the commodity code that you're looking for. Once you find the one you want, go ahead and select it, click add to contact, and then there you go. You have your new commodity code added to your contact. It's already saved, and you can click back and then edit more information or go home back to the starting page.
Aaron, can you talk about, and I know you mentioned this before, but just to stress to the folks on this webinar here, can you stress the importance of those commodity codes when it comes to being notified for events?
Yeah, no, definitely, not a problem. So commodity codes are extremely important. Like I said earlier, they let us know what your business offers. Without them, you might have a name like Aaron's Bakery, and then you know what? You might have named the business after yourself. Your last name's Bakery, but you do automotive. So sometimes the name of the business doesn't necessarily help us know what your business is. So that's where the commodity codes come in. And then you specify what services or items you provide on there. So that way, aside even dairy PPE items or outside of it, when people are just looking for general items, like say window repair, like say if a department asks us, they go, Aaron, what business do you have to do window repairs? What we can do on our side is we can pull a list, find a commodity code for window repair, and then pull a list of suppliers that use that commodity code and send that information in an Excel spreadsheet to the department, and then they can start contacting those suppliers for quotes on those items. And then again, also it's important because of events. when we have an event that goes out, the way you get notified is by those commodity codes matching the commodity codes we have on the event. We do what we call a pull list that brings up all the suppliers that match the commodity code on the event. And then when we release the event to view for public, that's where the notifications go. Also, I want to thank the SWIMBY department, James and everyone over there, because they actually even push it out a little further because they get the notifications of our events as well. And then they'll go ahead and send that information through CDMS or other areas. So commodity codes are extremely important.
Aaron, I just had a question come in from Linda, either Mariana or Mariana. I apologize if I'm butchering your last name. I have an answer. I want to hear yours as well, sir. The question is, my company is a management consulting firm providing training, coaching, process development. Does it really make sense for me to register since the services are intangible? I am sure a submitted proposal is very different and would be difficult to compare to others since we aren't quoting a widget.
No, it's not. We actually recommend that you register because there are commodity codes that are service commodity codes. We have commodity code for consulting services. We have for training. So the thing is that people don't know what Bexar County purchases at times or what kind of services we use. So just to give you an idea, we use basically just about everything. If you name it, we probably have, the county as a whole has used it. We have roughly 34 departments, subcategories of departments. We have juvenile detention facilities. We have adult detention facilities. We have an equine program. We have HR does training seminars or like self-help seminars of sorts. So no, if you have a consultation services, if you have, if you're just a speaker, if you do speaking engagements, no, definitely register, select the commodity codes that match what your service is, and get registered in our supplier portal. No, basically, if you have a job or a business, register it.
Yeah, thanks, Aaron. I just want to echo Aaron's comments there. The whole reason for my department, one is to ensure non-discrimination in the awards of contracts. That's why we were founded. But two, everything that we do is for outreach. With that said, we can't help you guys to get better prepared to answer proposals or submit those SOQs. You can't submit responses to bids and formal events or frankly for quotes if you don't know what's out there. So the whole point of this isn't necessarily to give you an advantage in your proposal. There's no credence, there's no points, there's no consideration given to whether or not you were in the supplier portal previously. This is all about getting the word to you. So you may think that in this case, you have a professional service. It's hard for you to compare what you serve in your scope of services. But the thing is, we need to be able to find you, which is why we ask you register with us. And I know that's a lot of what everyone's focused on, but just for my part, because my department is so focused on finding firms, that's why we stress, please register your firm so we know about you.
Yeah, and I just want to show you guys one more thing. We touched on it when during the registering process, when I opened up that extra window to go to search for past events. I'm going to go to past events right now. So if you look on the left-hand side, it's browse open events, and right below it is search events. So if I click on search events, once again, these are the past events that we've had for roughly a decade. So keyword, I'm just going to type in consulting. And then if you look, we have a bunch of different consulting services, legal, military transition center. So we do use a lot of services. So definitely, if you get a chance, and even if you're hesitant about registering, I recommend you do, but you can view this information without registering. If you just go to our supplier portal site and then click on search events, you can see all our past history. It has a really good important information. It'll show you, let me find one real quick. Let's go with Bexar County Auction Services. So I'm gonna click on this one. Since this one was awarded already, this is one from, it closed back in January 28th. If you look at the last tab, it'll actually show you the award summary. So you can just see who won. There's good information like that. If you look at other events, they have bid tabs. So you can click on the bid tab and you can see who bid on it, and then the dollar amounts that they bid on the item. So there's really good information in the search events. So you can just look up past events, look up if we've used that service. And again, like I said, the most important part is looking up and see what commodity code was used. So that way you make sure you have it, so that you don't miss out on the next opportunity.
Aaron, there was a question that came in as to whether or not a company can have just one profile and have multiple employees log in and use the same supplier portal registrant.
Oh, okay, no, that's not a problem. So yeah, you can have you can set up one profile with one password, one username, and have multiple people use it. Another option, and then this is if your company has different departments, say with PPE, right? You have one department that their sole job is hand sanitizer, and you have another department that their sole job is mask. Same company, but they cover different areas, and you only want to receive information on that specific item or service. So you can go, sorry, let me just start back at the beginning right here. You can go to Home, go to Update Account Information. And if you don't feel like sharing the password and username with the other people in the department, and you want to divide it up a little bit more, if you go to Update Information, scroll all the way to the bottom, you can add additional contacts. And when you do that, it actually sets up a separate profile for them under the same company. So they can have their own username and their own password. The only thing is that when you do this, you would set up your own commodity codes for that new profile that's added to it. So that way you can separate, like say if you only want this department to get these notifications, you can just put those commodity codes there. So yeah, you can share it or you can update it and add another contact.
Okay, I saw a question come in asking about a very specific type of service or commodity that would be sold. I'm going to ask that for those really specific instances, like in posters that were brought up in the chat, email Aaron or myself, aaron.andrade@bear.org or james.massey@bear.org, and we can walk you through how to find specific commodity codes that apply to you. Otherwise, again, Aaron showed a walkthrough on how to find keyword searches. We can help you out with additional detail. Just we ask you please email us and we will follow up with you. Aaron, I think you addressed everything I saw coming through here. So if you're good yielding the floor, sir, I will take over.
No, definitely. All yours. And like he said, I posted my confirmation, my contact information. If you're free to email me, I'll get to you. I'll answer your questions. So yeah, thanks, James. Good luck.
Appreciate you being on here, sir. So with that, I'm going to take over and share my screen. Since I'm working on two screens here while I moderate the chat, I'm going to ask that you guys bear with me, just have my profile picture up so you don't have to see the side of my face. So with that said, real quick, this pathway here has been posted a couple times in the chat. If you just Google Bexar County purchasing, you'll be able to see the supplier portal vendor registration. This is the exact link, and this has been posted in the chat room. This is the page that you can get to what Aaron was walking you guys through. Just wanted to visually show you guys that. So with that said, CDMS, Contract Diversity Management System, what is that? So my office, again, Bexar County SWMB, SBED, many hats, many names, many programs. Our focus is outreach. With that, we purchased this tool called the Contract Diversity Management System. What this is a database that is held, utilized, contributed to by every member of the Texas Unified Certification Protocol. If anybody on the call right now, anybody in the chat room has a SWMB certification, and yesterday's webinar with Charles Johnson, the Executive Director of the South Central Texas Regional Certification Agency, if you guys want to touch on what SWMB certification is and how he can help you get that, you can go to our YouTube channel and see his walkthrough that is posted live now. But the RCA, the NCTRCA, State of Texas Hub program, anybody who offers a public sector certification, as well as DBE and ACDB federal certifications, we capture those here for the state of Texas in this system. In addition to that, the proprietor of this system, the one that actually makes the data available, not only do they host those different certification agencies, but they pay for downloads with Hoovers, with A to Z. They export data from the SBA, anywhere that they can get their hands on good data when it comes to vendors and sourcing and who sells what, it gets added to this system. So then what we do is we host this page that you're seeing here. We have an internal use and an external use just to bring folks more opportunity. So if I scroll down here without even logging in, first thing you'll see, I have a link to the supplier portal so you guys can go see again what Aaron walked you guys through. This is Patty Shop, Bexar County Purchasing. But right below that, we have the SWMB DBE Hub directory. You don't have to be logged in. You don't have to have an account. You can actually search and export all the different SWMB certifications that we track, that we have and have made available here. If you're, for example, a general contractor who's looking to source and looking for subcontractors, if you're looking to see even frankly who your competition is, you can search who we have available here. With that said, below you'll see different things. Here's the different certification agencies, some of them anyway. But what I want to show you guys is what an end user, like an actual department purchaser, somebody that's going to be committing purchases, getting quotes from you guys, what it is that they see. So let me log in here. And I did check. You guys aren't going to see my password. I'm sorry to say. You won't be hacking me or sending any crazy messages anytime soon. Okay, so search right on the side here, vendors, certified vendors. So I'm just going to click on vendors. This is all going to tie together in just a second here, guys. So I, as an end user, let's say I work in public works and I want to find concrete companies, anybody touching on or has anything to do with concrete. What I can do is I can just open up my CDMS platform here, go to search, go to vendors, and I can type in the word concrete. Everything that you see in here is a search parameter that I can edit, that I can add to try and drill down and hone in on who it is that I'm going to be contacting and engaging. There's different things that we can set in here, for example, San Antonio, but this is Bexar County. We stress our end users not to just use San Antonio as a search parameter because obviously we represent Bexar County. There's several suburban cities here. Phone area code, you see how 210 automatically populated? Most of the time, whenever I go source vendors, I'm going to use phone area code because it's more comprehensive of who's actually trying to sell to us, 210 and 830. Aaron touched quite a bit on commodity codes, and I'm going to take a second here to talk about them as well. This is a major sticking point right now in public purchasing is the importance of and training on how to register commodity codes. When I click on commodity codes, what you'll see is NIGP automatically populates. The National Institute of Government Purchasing, that's what the state of Texas and the political jurisdictions in Texas use. We all use NIGP. So whenever Aaron was talking about the different codes you can select and he talked about a parent code, NIGP in general, there's 5 total digits. First 3 are the major code, second 2 are the minor code. But with that, that's how we assign an alphanumeric to say what it is that you purchase. The thing is with that, we always ask that you know who it is you're trying to sell to. If I drop down here, there's actually several selections. NAICS code. If you were part of our webinar series yesterday, Charles Johnson spent some time touching on NAICS codes. A NAICS code is going to be very prevalent in the federal government. Depending on what industry that you seek to compete in, what services you may be selling, the end user may specifically look for NAICS codes. If you are certified as a SWMB, you have NAICS codes assigned to your profile, whether you know it or not. That's what you're being certified in, is a NAICS code as opposed to an NIGP code. So I'm bringing that up to say, if any of my SWMBs or potential SWMBs, certified SWMB firms are on here and think, okay, well, I'm certified, Bexar County can find me no matter what platform we use. Aaron just showed you how they go source individuals in the supplier portal. He's using NIGP codes. Our Bexar County Purchasing Department is looking for NIGP codes. Unfortunately, the RCA can't help you with that. You're going to need to add those yourself. We can help you in my office, and I'm sure Aaron and the entire purchasing staff is willing to help you find the correct and equivalent commodity codes, but they're not automatically assigned. You're going to need to go into Bexar County's Purchasing Supplier Portal and add those yourself. On this system that we're looking at, if you happen to have a SWMB certification, they're assigned to your certification, but even then they may not be on your profile. We're going to see what that looks like in just a second here. But we've spent a lot of time talking about NIGP. I can add NIGP. There's also a couple other industry commodity codes present in here. We don't use those as much, although I have seen my facilities department using CIS more and more. What we stress to our end users is using NIGP and NAICS code. I will add, this system is far easier to use if you're sourcing on NAICS code. Typically, what I do whenever I'm assisting somebody who's looking to purchase a product or trying to engage firms is I will do an export of the supplier portal with everybody who has an NIGP commodity code, and then I'll compare it to results that I get here out of CDMS with NAICS code. We're trying to capture you as much as we can. We just need help. There was a question about, should I register my firm? Everywhere that you can register as a vendor, anywhere you can provide information when it comes to your business, that's going to help us find you. So I'm not going to add anything here because I'm going to show you what most of our end users do. They just type in the word. I brought up a concrete example. I'm going to use concrete. I'm not putting in a commodity code. I'm going to put in the number 210 as an area code, and that's all I'm going to put. Now, if I were a solid end user, and this really was the search parameter I was going to use, I'm also going to do this for 830. But for our example here, excuse me, I'm just going to type concrete and do a 210 pull. Now let me scroll down. I'm not going to add any more parameters. Search all matches. And here I've got 316 firms populating that tell me they have something to do with concrete. Now I'm going to show you guys A&I Transport. I mean, they're probably not exactly in concrete. What they're saying is that they haul concrete as opposed to maybe construction companies, right? We see a few of those, another trucking company, investment company. What that tells me is that somewhere on that profile, they have the word concrete listed. So the drawback from an end user perspective is we have to be very careful in the language that we're using to try and source these firms, because we might be pulling firms that have nothing to do with the exact service that we're trying to procure. The advantage from a small business perspective is if you can add as many buzzwords to your profile as possible, whenever we're doing a keyword search, you're going to populate. Now, that does raise the question of, is that worth your time, getting barraged with emails? You might not be in that particular service, but I'm showing you that when it comes to searches, where a end user can use a keyword search, they're going to. So in a second here, I'm going to show you how to modify your profile to have those in there. Now, if you're wondering how it is that you can have your firm listed in here, how it is you can go about being populated in this web page, again, the RCA, all the contributing TUCP agencies, Hoovers, A to Z, there's a lot of sources that this information is pulled from to create this list of available vendors, but it's not exhaustive. There's still going to be a few of you guys who don't get picked up. If you would just email me, james.massey@bear.org, we can create a profile for you, and we'll walk you through how to go about editing, adding to it, enhancing it, so that you can populate in the searches. Since you do see the word certified vendors on here, I'm going to walk through a quick search on that as well. My office, again, we focus on SWMBs. We have a SWMB program. When we do our searches, we're focusing on vendors. But internally, we have a county manager SWMB policy that requires that our end users contact a minimum of 3 certified SWMB firms if that department answers to the county manager. Now, that's not applicable to everybody, and unfortunately, purchasing has the purchasing are the ones that see these requisitions come across, and they aren't necessarily over enforcement, but they kind of are. We're in a strange position when it comes to enforcing this policy. But if you're underneath the county manager's authority, you're required to find certified SWMBs and indicate that you did attempt to contact them. So what my end users are doing then is they're looking specifically to meet the requirements and find SWMB firms to include whenever they go out, do their outreach, and ask for quotes and proposals. When you do a certified vendor search, you're only going to populate SWMB results. So if I go do the same search parameter, which I already explained what's in here, 210, and I just type in concrete, what I pull now are just going to be those certified SWMB firms who appear in area code 210. So again, I'm not changing anything else. I'm just going to search all matches. And now my results have reduced to 134. Now, that's a lot of firms. When you compare the original results to 316 firms, 134 with the same pull, only being certified SWMBs, that's a really good availability for our SWMB firms in concrete. But again, now it raises the question of, do they offer exactly what services that we want or that we seek? And we would know if we're doing a search specifically by commodity code. We offer an internal training. Aaron actually helps me put that on as well, where we teach our departments how to go about using commodity codes to drill down these searches. But what I find more and more is that we're getting keyword searches to populate these vendors. And that's why I'm showing you guys this, is to say that where you can add to your profile to have words populate and be part of these searches, it's also going to help. So I want to stress to you guys, we do teach them how to add commodity codes. The best thing you can do to help your business is to register with us as a supplier, and then to go about adding those same commodity codes to your CDMS profile. But where you can add keywords, anything you can do to say more about your business helps us to find you. So what you're seeing here, again, this is the staff view. I'm going to exit so I can show you guys what it looks like as a vendor. So if you have CDMS accounts, or if you're going to contact me and create a CDMS account, this is what it's going to look like. So I have a dummy company in here. This is, y'all can probably guess that's a personal email. I'm going to tell you right now, I don't check it. So if you intend to spam me, I'm sorry, I'm probably not going to see it. Let me type out a password. Okay, so you can see it's a little different. My dashboard looks different. I can do a search. You can see I can still find my own firms, vendors, certified vendors. The reason behind this is, again, we're focusing on general contractors. If they're looking for subs, or if you're looking to partner, we want you to be able to find your firms as well that you can either sub to or have partners with, maybe JVs. But what I really want you guys to know is right here, view, my alerts. If you are contacted in the system, if you have a direct message in the system, it's going to appear here in my alerts. My certifications. We keep talking about SWMB certification. If you have a certification assigned to your profile, it's going to populate in this view. My contracts. This is set up for Bexar County, but I have not said this yet. Every entity that purchases this license from this company right here, B2G Now, the proprietor, we're all looking at the same thing. We have the access to the same firms. We have mostly all the same outreach capabilities. I'm just going to name off a couple folks that are on here. The airport's on here. City of San Antonio's on here. SAWS is on here. VIA's on here. If you pay property taxes or utility revenue here in San Antonio, or the San Antonio MSA here in Bexar County, there's a good chance that they have or have access to this system. So the reason I'm bringing that up is, one, we're all using this to find you. Two, where you see this My Contracts page, if you have a contract with any entity that purchases this license from B2G Now, it will populate in here. So if you're working for both Bexar County and City of San Antonio, you'll have two different sets of data here where it'll show if you're the prime contractor, subcontractor, here are the different agencies you have a contract with. Contract audits, sounds scarier than it is. We require month to month to ensure that we have payment on our projects, that subs and primes confirm they received payment as reported. Workforce audits, we do purchase this module. We don't typically use it. This has to do with labor. My concessions, again, this is something that we do purchase. We don't typically enforce this on our compliance. I don't want you guys to worry too much about these. Utilization plans is new. That's really a TxDOT thing. Outreach, we're going to talk about in a second here. So actually, I'll dig into it now. Aaron talked about formal events, how it is that whenever you have a commodity code and Bexar County Purchasing releases an event that happens to match a commodity code you have registered in your profile, you automatically appear in a system for auto-populated emails to get notified, hey, Bexar County has an event and we want you to participate, want you to submit a bid. For outreach, my office creates a number of events specifically targeting local vendors who might not be in the supplier portal. And we're looking both with keyword searches as well as with commodity code searches. But here, the company that I created happened to be included either by keyword or by commodity code on two different outreach events. If I open this up, you're going to see that depending on what information you provided to us, you'll receive a notice from my department saying, hey, we have an event available, and here's the message that you'll receive. This does not just exist here in the system. This is linked to your email that you provide on your profile so that you're actually notified in your inbox saying that we have an opportunity available to you. Now, this event might be confusing, or folks might be wondering from my purchasing department, why didn't I see that? What's economic development doing? Typically, our CDMS system is used for informal events, meaning those below our formal threshold, $49,999.99 under. End users will typically go in here to find vendors to call and get quotes, or to email and get quotes. Now, we're pushing them into the supplier portal as well, but in terms of documenting their outreach efforts to small business specifically, we're seeing more and more of our end users, like economic development here, using this outreach tool to contact our firms. So something in my profile pinged that this campaign that Ms. Anna Hernandez from Economic Development created automatically notified me that she's looking to have a federally funded grant, and she's moving offices within the same floors below. And now I need to contact her to provide a quote. That's how that works. This is in my inbox. Again, I don't check that email, unfortunately, but this is in my inbox as well as here in the system to say that I was notified for an opportunity. I'm going to repeat this part. What's populating in our Bexar County purchasing system whenever you register the supplier portal, those are formal events. Those are going to be $50,000 and over. And there's a lot of competition for those. There's a formal process has to be followed, has to be posted. We got to provide public notice. There's typically a review process. There might be a committee. It's a long time to receive those. It's a long time to compete on those. These are going to be mostly for events where we can just get quotes. So those are typically easier to receive. They're much easier to respond to. And I can tell you that our system is used more and more for that reason. So again, stressing that for capital, for cash flow, for revenue, and just for the sake of being notified by our end users for upcoming events, you want to make sure you're in this system with relevant and equivalent commodity codes and descriptions. So now my events, this is different language than purchasing, so I'm clicking on this to address that. Event for purchasing, for Bexar County purchasing, it's referring to a solicitation. We're having a procurement event. When we say it in here, we're really meaning an event. We're hosting something. So in here, we have an outreach tool as well as an event tool. They work the same. If you're invited to something to participate in for an event, it shows up in here. Now, I think I've killed this point enough. What I want to show you guys is how to go about modifying your profile. So let me go into dashboard. Sorry, let me move this over. Profile setup. And now, if I click on general first, here is my business name. Here is my company email. Here's my phone number, my tax ID. Just all this basic information that you can provide. I'm going to take a second here to call out my partners over at PTAC, the Procurement Technical Assistance Center. If you guys are looking at unique entity identifier and you're saying, wow, I compete for federal projects, I know what a lot of these things are, I don't recognize that acronym or that name. The federal government is moving away from DUNS number and they're moving to unique entity identifier. If you have a DUNS number, you should have already been notified of what it's going to take to go get your UEI, and to convert that, they're not going to be the same number. It's going to be a different contract holder. But if you haven't already done that, or if you need a walkthrough on how to change your UEI with SAM, recommend that you contact UTSA PTAC to ask for training on that, which they do have some coming up. So again, company type, ethnicity, gender, county, we can fill all these things out. As much information as you provide to us, the more likely we are to find you. Your public profile. Some of this is going to populate from the information you provided. I have the ability to say when it is that I work. But here, my web address and my business description, in here for business description is where you can add keywords to populate in your search. So where we might go about doing that concrete search, here I don't have the word concrete listed. If one of my commodity codes I have assigned to the profile has the word concrete, I'll still populate. But I might not have that commodity code listed. I might not necessarily be certified in this, but I do provide that in my scope of services. If I type out in my business description here that I provide a specific thing, when it comes to keyword searches, like the two examples that I showed you, this is how you populate. And again, it could be a detriment to you if you keep coming up in searches you want nothing to do with. And I'll give you an example of that. If somebody says, I provide photography, I do not sell concrete, in this description box, you're still going to populate. You're still going to show up because the word concrete is connected to your profile. So nobody's going to come in and check your grammar. No one's going to review your sentence structure. Syntax does not matter here. We just ask that you put in some keywords. Treat it like hashtags. Don't put the hashtag in front of it, but treat it like hashtags, where you just type in all the different things it is that you provide. This way, on those keyword searches, you're more likely to populate. Again, you'll see there's no asterisk next to these things. So these aren't required fields for you to fill out, but we do allow you the opportunity to fill them out. More questions on purchasing and payment methods, etc. Users, there was a question in the chat room specifically for Bexar County purchasing about, can I have one supplier number and have multiple users? This is actually the same thing. I've got one person registered as a user in here, but I can add multiple. I believe the system allows for as many as 15 different users. But that's a very straightforward process, just clicking add user and going from there. Commodity codes, here we go. So you'll see here, NAICS code, NIGP code. You can have both. You can have every commodity code example that we have listed as a potential search inquiry. We just ask that you provide as much information as you can. You'll see here that I don't have the word concrete listed in the business description, but I do have it on my commodity code searches. So I should have been included in those search parameters that I used earlier because the word concrete is included on my commodity codes. But if my end user were more savvy and they knew to look for commodity codes, which is why Aaron and I do the training that we do, I would also populate because I have a NAICS code as well as an NIGP code. Why do I have both? Again, want you guys to focus on who it is that you're trying to sell to. If you intend to sell to somebody using federal funds, they're going to use NAICS codes even if they're a local entity. For example, Bexar County, we have a DBE program. We have a few federally funded federal highway program construction projects. NAICS codes are what applies there. NAICS codes is how we define what the DBE goal is going to be. I'll point of correction, my director, Renee Watson, sitting in here, and she's going to tell me that we don't set the DBE goal, TxDOT does, which is true, but they're using NAICS code to determine availability. NIGP code, again, if I want to sell to a local user, NIGP code is what I'm going to list. I have this page up just to show you guys you can have as many codes listed as you like, and I ask that you provide at least NAICS and NIGP to help yourself. Adding commodity codes is very simple. Aaron walked you through how to do a keyword search. Same process here. If I just do a keyword search, I have NAICS, I can drop down and select NIGP, I can drop down and select all the different commodity codes I think apply to me. Contacts, this is going to mirror who you have listed as a user. We have the ability to have a main contact, primary contact, a sales contact. Aaron talked about transition and how somebody might have their primary contact leave and then we're sending out emails to somebody who's not checking them. We ask that you consider the same thing. Your main contact doesn't need to be you as the owner. It needs to be whoever's going to be the most receptive and most responsive for emails. That way you're receiving these things in real time. You're not just waiting to see, hey, did Bexar County contact me or not? You want your main contact to be whoever's checking your email most often and looking for opportunities. And then the rest of these, we do have them available because we purchase these modules. We do not use them. This is about labor, workforce, registrations. I don't want you guys to focus too much on those. Certifications. These auto-populate. You are not able to manipulate or to modify these. These are provided by the contributing members of TUCP or the State of Texas Hub program. If you have a private sector certification or a national certification, say like the LGBT Chamber provides a certification, they will not appear in here. We're only going to provide the certifications that actually come from the TUCP because each of those entities have the same license. So there are a total of 6 as well as the State of Texas Hub program. I say that, and now I will add the caveat. Bexar County accepts any certification. It can be private, it can be public, it can be from another state, frankly. We accept reciprocity. If you have a bona fide certification from a bona fide certification agency, we will count it. What will populate here in the system are only going to be those certifications from bona fide TUCP contributing agencies. Okay, so that is CDMS. And I just wanted to give a walk through the system. Typically, we have a more intimate setting. no more than 10 contractors or so, no more than 10 businesses or so, where me and Aaron could actually walk through business by business and show you guys how to set up your supplier portal profile as well as your CDMS profile. What I wanted to show you is the length of information you can provide in CDMS, as well as how to leverage those commodity codes. I'm going to stress this point, because maybe you've been ducking in and out. Maybe you're not listening the whole way through here and you have it running in the background. This has been addressed a couple times. The most advantageous thing you can do to help us find you is to provide accurate commodity codes. The same way that Aaron walked through and did a keyword search to find applicable commodity codes. Our Bexar County Purchasing Office is highly trained, highly qualified, and they're doing keyword searches to find their commodity codes. My end users are not nearly as trained as Bexar County Purchasing staff. They're using keyword searches to find the commodity codes. I implore you guys on here, please do a keyword search with NIGP and with NAICS. Find what you think is relevant to you and update your profile so that we can find you. Aaron talked about parent codes, the major 3 codes on the NIGP profile. If you have questions about, okay, well, on this 5-digit code, these are off by 2 digits. Only the last numbers are different, but I think it applies to both. I'm not sure what to select. For NIGP profiles, if you have the major code listed, for example, 912, 915, it doesn't matter what the other 2 are, you will populate in our searches. So a good catch-all is going to be listing that major code as your supplier code for NIGP. The only thing is, from a business perspective, how you run your business, do you want to receive all those notifications that might not apply to you? The most accurate, timely commodity codes is what we recommend, but the major codes on NIGP is definitely going to make sure that you're recognized. So with that, that concludes my presentation here. I haven't been able to monitor the chat. I know Stephen Prado has been looking at that for me, helping me moderate the chat. I'm going to stop sharing my screen here. And Aaron, I'm going to unmute your line or ask that you do the same. And now we're going to open this up for questions.
And James, there were some people with some specific questions earlier. I did a direct contact to them and asked them just to send me an email. That way I can look into it and get them the information they needed.
Okay, good deal. Yeah, whenever we do this training, again, we really appreciate you guys being on here. We're trying to bring as much information as we can to everybody. We do continue to offer these in a more intimate setting where it's no more than 10 folks and it's just me and Aaron walking you guys through a piece by piece on your profiles. We will continue to do so. It used to be a in-person meeting. Now, with all these Zoom meetings and the extensiveness of our webinar program, we might move it to webinars. But with that said, if you have very specific questions about your business, you can address them here, but we're most likely going to ask that we can follow up with you offline to answer specifically your question.
Hey, Aaron, it's Stephen from SBED. We have a question from Meredith Sowell. This is kind of what you were referring to earlier when you were showing people how to register. She just asked, once you register, could you show her where to log in?
Where to log in? Well, so once you register, you're already logged in. But yeah, it's I think James posted the link to the website to get to the Supplier portal. I always tell people an easy way to get to it is just in your search engine, type in Bear space purchasing. Doesn't matter if it's Internet Explorer, Google, purchasing will pop up. Click on the link and then it'll say Supplier portal registration or login. Click on that icon and then you'll click on it one more time and then you'll get to the Supplier portal.
So I believe I'm still sharing my second screen here. Let me see if I can populate it. Here's the splash page for Bexar County Purchasing. And right here, Supplier portal vendor registration. Right, Aaron?
Yes, correct.
Click on the link. I'm in Chrome, by the way. Login. Username. Register. There you go, Meredith.
Like Aaron was mentioning, so if you do register, it should automatically log you in. If you leave the page, you will have to more than likely just click that login on the top left corner and just re-log into the portal.
Yeah. Oh, that being said too, like say someone else registered your account and then they left and you don't know you don't have access to their email address or username. Feel free to send me an email, and then once I verify the information that you're with that company, then we can update that information and make you the account representative. So just if you're not sure, you know you have an account, you don't know how to access it, send me an email, and then I can help you gain access.
So again, one more time, I want to make sure, folks, as you come in or as you've been here, please provide at least one time your contact information in the chat room. We don't require authenticated users, so we don't have access to your email or any of your specifics. If you could provide them at least one time if you want follow-up, then any questions, comments, or concerns that are addressed in the chat, if we don't answer them now in real time, we will be following up. We're going to provide a full transcript of what's said here in the chat to both Aaron and to Patty for staff to follow up on. What you've seen here is going to be posted to our YouTube channel, and everything that we've had this week, every webinar that we've hosted, which has been the SBA and SBDC covering the payment protection plan and EIDL and the various programs SBA has going on right now, Bibliotech and how to leverage Bexar County's online library for your small business resources. Wednesday, we had the Bexar County Tax Assessor Collector talking taxes with him and what small businesses can expect rather. And of course, yesterday we had Charles Johnson with the South Central Texas Regional Certification Agency. Each of those webinars are recorded right now and live on our YouTube channel and also on our website. This one will be as well following our conclusion here. Renee, I think we've covered the content. If you want to add any final words, or Patty, if you want to add any final words.
Well, we appreciate it. I think Ms. Torres had to take another call. We will exchange information. We are trying to emergency secure the PPEs for our small business. So I know we're working on that procurement. But we appreciate everybody that had an opportunity to, or took the opportunity to join us this morning. If you want a one-on-one session, we're also offering them via Zoom. We anticipate full May by May 18th, the governor probably will come out with a new order, and which will maybe the county judge and the mayor pretty much telling folks to reopen all other types of businesses by then. We will look at in-office space and outreach, but we will continue the webinars. So call us up, email us, and we can do these, what James talked about, one-on-one. So we appreciate everybody. Thanks to our staff, our team, and thank you, Aaron, and the purchasing staff for all you do. And it's been a great week. Thank you so much.
Again, we appreciate you being here. Follow us on social media to stay up to date with any bid events that we have or training events, outreach events that we're hosting. We're constantly active. COVID's not slowing us down. So